Hey guys, Kaydo from Two Mates Fishing. On today's Kaydo Tackle Talk, I'll be talking you through catching your first bream on soft plastics. So, all through the year, we're getting constant messages of people asking, how do I catch my first bream on a soft plastic, or what weights do I use and what lures? So, and what type of rod and reel. So, usually in the rod and reel, a 1 to 3 kilo or a 2 to 4 kilo is pretty much my go-to sort of style rods. A nice little light 2000 reel or a 1000 reel with 4 to 6 pound line is plenty, or 8 pound leader onto it. When selecting your jig head size, you want to fish as light as possible, so as light as the current will let you, because you want that lure to sink as slowly as possible through the water column. So right now I'm using a 1/8 jig head because it's about 3 and 4 meters worth of water. There's a little bit of current pushing through, so that'll let it sink nice and slowly without the current affecting it and dragging it all over the place. So I'm using a Camo Nemesis, Gulp Nemesis. It's in the 3-inch. So the max size lure that I'll use is a 3-inch right down to a 1-inch lure. So you can use your little grubs, your little crawls, prawns, anything like that. And usually try and select through the day what type of lures that you'll be taking. So take a different range of lures, like colours and sizes, because as the day goes on, your lures and your colours will change. So early morning, just as the sun's coming up, I'll use a complete black or complete dark lure, like a camo or something. And then as the sun comes up and if the water starts clearing up, then I'll go like a clear or a watermelon sort of colour, or any sort of lighter colour. Bloodworm works really well because you can use it pretty much all the way through the day. And then as the sun starts dropping down, I'll go back to darker colour. So I'll run you through a couple of techniques. So cast her out, try and land as nice and close as you can to the structure, because the bream will be sitting right next to the structure, like they'll be pretty much hugging it. So if it's a rock wall or weeds or mangroves or oyster encrusted pylons, try and land as close as possible, like an inch off your actual structure. So as you cast out, let it hit the ground, your line will go slack, then it's just a nice slow lift. Wind in that slack line again, and you can do a quick nice little taps. What that's doing is just letting the lure go up and down, and then a quick little flutter as it's coming off. There's no right or wrong on your techniques, but this is just a base technique to get you started on fishing for bream. So just a nice slow lift. Usually my max range is about 45-degree lift, so just a flick of the wrist, just that is plenty. Any higher and you risk high sticking your rod and snapping your rod. So right now I'm in Georges River in Liverpool. This place usually goes right for bream, flathead, jewfish on the occasion, coming in and out of the lakes, feeding on all them, on all the little bait fish that's going around. There's plenty of structure, like you got weeds, you got trees, you got rock walls, so plenty of places that the bream can hide and get away from everything and just wait for all the bait to get pushed by them. So bream are really inquisitive. So if you find the bream are following it right to the boat and not actually striking, that means slow your technique down. So plus they like to look at your lure, so that's where the lighter jig head comes into it. So as your lure's fallen, they'll sit there and nose it almost. They'll look at your lure for a while before they actually strike. And as soon as you feel that tap, that's your cue to give it a good strike. It's not like when you're bait fishing where you get a tap, 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 and then you feel the weight and then you strike. When you feel the first little tap, that usually means 90% of the time that the fish has got the lure in its mouth. So give it a nice strike, set the hook, and then you're off. And try not to over tighten your drag, because fishing that lighter line, it will snap. So have a pull of your line, as long as it's nice and smooth coming off, it's perfect. And then you can adjust as you're going on. So if you have any questions, or you want to know different types of lures that I use, or different areas that I try and target them for, comment in the section below and I'll be happy to help you guys out. So thanks guys for tuning in, and I'm going to catch some fish.